Okay, it's the time, so we should start. Um, my name is Milan Gabor, and I will be talking about vaccinating APKs. So we will be playing a little bit with Android applications. So actually, who am I? I'm CEO of a small company, and actually I'm everything. So CEO, personal assistant, secretary, maid, so whatever you want. And I'm in love with applications, so different kind of application, not only Android, but all kind of with, because we are doing a lot of penetration testing. And I was a developer in previous life, so this helps a lot. And it took me only 12 hours of flying to get here and to be here with you. I expect a little bit more people, but hey, we're still professionals, we will do. Okay, a little bit about Slovenia. Has anybody been already to Slovenia? Or at least know where it is? Well, we are so small, that if you're on a plane, you don't even get your country listed, So we are somewhere here, Austria, Hungary, Italy. So we're really small. I checked, Grand Rapids has like 180,000 people living in, and Slovenia has 2 million, and Michigan has roughly a little bit less than 10 million. So Michigan is 5 times Slovenia's population, so we are quite small. But if you get around in our places, then we have some nice countrysides and sightseeings to view. And if you're around there, it's a place to be there. Okay, so we have not only the beautiful nature, but also we have some famous Slovenian people or companies in InfoSec on the good side and on the bad side. On the good side, we had one company called Acros Security, which was, let's say, got very popular. Remember that binary planting from 2011? So it was done and discovered and presented by Slovenian company. And on the other hand, we also have bad guys like this one. He looks kind of Edward Snowden, but it's not. So this was the most famous Slovenian hacker that FBI was after him. So this year he got sentenced, but he appealed to the court. So Slovenia, he got like 4 years and 10 months of prison. Do you have an idea how much the United States won jail time for him? Any guess? 60 years. Yeah. So he was actually the creator of he wrote the software for infecting and controlling the largest botnet at that time, and the Spanish were running it. So the Mariposa botnet that was taken down in the year 2010. So okay, so what we're gonna be talking about today? So we're gonna be talking a little bit about Android mobile applications, so APK, the basic stuff, analysis, how do we do it, static, dynamic, and I will be showing demo, quite few demos of a tool that we actually made it. So you will see that you can have a lot of fun with Android application, and you're gonna see that you can cheat almost any game in like 10 lines of code or even less. So, okay, who's actually using Android? Okay, everybody? iOS? Yes? So, what you're doing at the Android application presentation? No, I'm just kidding. Just welcome. So, okay. So where are we today? Actually, we're living in a quite complex world. If you just take a look at the Android ecosystem, you see that there are a lot of different kind of points and applications and application frameworks and libraries and abstraction layer and everything that goes with an Android. And on the other hand, we also have a lot of vulnerabilities inside of mobile application. Fortify posted last year one research, and they found out that 9 of 10 mobile applications have some kind of flaws inside. Although this report is, let's say, 1 year, almost 1 year old, but I think those things haven't changed that much. Maybe now it's like 7 or 8 mobile applications have different kind of vulnerabilities, but it's still interesting work regarding the mobile application. And this one is more recent. So in September, they found that a lot of mobile applications allow man-in-the-middle attacks because they're just not properly validating SSL certificates for HTTP connections. And definitely there are some other things. Like there's definitely a big need for testing mobile application. We got a lot of requests, started from ending last year. And sometimes when you're looking at the mobile applications, it's like, you know, the source code, when you're looking at the source code or reversing the source code, it's like 99 development, you know, because you can find a lot of let's say, basic misconfiguration or basic failures in the source code. And this is talking from our experience because we analyzed a lot of mobile applications. So actually, why this is still present or actual? Because manager should stay focused on the due dates. You know, developers focus on the features, not the security. And in the end, users actually don't care about security. So if we would go, you know, with a picture, it's kind of like this. So at the end, you know, the developer is the bad guy, you know, because everybody's after him, tester, manager, and even clients. So today we're going to be doing a little bit reverse engineering to the APKs. But before that, we need to go back to the basics to see how the things are done and how should we do it. So who did already took apart some kind of APK, Android application? Okay, you're going to see the rest of the guys, the rest of the people are going to see that it's not that hard. Was it hard? Not at all. No, and you get back this pretty good source code from the application. So what's actually APK? Just to go to the basics. So APK is Android package format. It's nothing more than a special zip. You know, so you can just rename it on your Windows or your Mac OS to a zip file and just unpack it. Normally, it's written exclusively in Java with some native libraries that might be written in C, C++, and they have a lot of other components like activities, services, broadcast receivers, but they're not in kind of interest for us. So from a developer side, you know, what does this mean? You have some kind of source code, you have resources like images, styles, and other assets, and you package them, you create dollar bytecode that goes to classes dex, you sign it, and you publish it to the Google Play Store. So how hard is to get first APK? If we want to analyze it, you have to have it. So the easiest way would be copy from the phone, right? Take it from the phone, or you can pull it from the phone, or you can take it from a backup, or you can even take it from a web page. It will download it for you, so you don't need any Google account. Or there's another way. You can download it from an untrusted source, like, for example, Russian forum. You know, who wants to install some kind of Android application from a Russian underground forum? You might find that guys that they also do it. Or you just Google it, you know, just file type APK, and you will get a lot of APKs from it. So the next step is you have an APK. So you have, if you want to reverse it back to the source code, you need some tools to do it. So actually there are, normally you need only 2 of them or 3 of them. It depends on which level you want to go. But normally dex2jar is the one way to go. And if you're kind of lazy and you don't want to use all kind of, let's say, command line tools, you can go to decompileandroid.com. You just upload your APK, and it does it for you. So you get the source, you get back the source code. So it's very simple process, as we said. So if you want, for example, you want to take it from the phone, you just pull it down from your phone, you unzip it, or just call dex-jar and with the JD GUI, you use it and you get the source code. So I'm going to just show you that's really that simple. So I just downloaded one. Let me see. So we have one APK here. So as we said, jar one game that we're gonna play a little bit later. And now what we are doing, we're decompiling from the Dolvik classes dex file. We actually this script does decompiles it and gets you a jar file. So if you're familiar with the Java sources, you know that the jars are actually bytecode which contains Java interpreted classes. So if you want to see it, what's actually inside, just go and see. And you will notice that sometimes you have problems, or problems start. Here, see this is one class. They compile it, so reverse it back. And do you notice something special about that? If you go with the classes, for example, here, A, B, C. So they're quite good developers, right? Who understand what A is, and the class A, and the class B, and class C. Or actually, what is done? What did they do before they publish it to the Google Play? They run it through some kind of obfuscation. So it's really want to make our life, as a pen testers or security researchers or security analyzers, it's really, really hard one. Why? Because now you have to have in your mind, that this class is something, the class A means, I don't know what, and there are some kind of variables inside. You see that there are variable A, variable B, a variable C, and sometimes not everything gets decompiled. So you got the kind of bytecode and Dalek. But sometimes, it's really good to see what's actually in there. Why? Because let me see if you want to see the methods. It's really good to check what kind of methods are there. For example, we have here the dump answers. So might be interesting somewhere pointing later. But you're going to see, I'm going to be showing in a demo that this method creates a really good, it's really helpful if you call it in during the gameplay. So as you have seen, it's not that hard to get back the source code. And if you're a lazy one, there's a Dexter at dexlabs.org. You just register and you just upload the APK, and it does a lot of stuff for you. So it gets you analyzed of kind of permission it's using. It actually runs the application, sees you can get the PCAP, so you see what's actually sending over to the network, and some other interesting stuff. So if you're a lazy one, that's the way to do it. Okay, so now we reverse engineered our APK. So we got a kind of source code, almost source code, and we want to analyze it. So if we want to analyze it, what do you need to know? Who's Java developer? Who has been programming some in Java developers? Okay, we will see that it's not necessary to be super duper Java developer to analyze it. But you need to know a little bit how the programming languages look like. If you're going through static analysis, you don't see all runtime replies. So when the application is running, what is sending to the server, what is getting back as a reply, you don't see that. We have seen that sometimes, the application is already obfuscated and renamed. And what's the most important thing when you're analyzing the APKs? It's that you identify important segments in the code. What would be important segments in the code? Like writing to the database, sending to the server, doing some kind of crypto stuff. That's interesting. And from our experience, like 20% of the code, it's really important, so you need to check it. But the other 80% is not that really very interesting. So you're looking at the source code. So you're doing static analysis, and sometimes you need to be lucky. That button at the Google, do you feel lucky? So let's try to read some Java code. I don't know, it's visible enough. So can somebody guess what's actually doing this piece of code from Java? If you decompile it, you can get you get the same result. Anyone? So this is going to some kind of server, right? Calling API save.php. What would we do? And I'll give you a hint that actually it's a game. So what would game do if it's going for saving some stuff to the server? Saving game, yeah. You see here have two parameters. So one is T, one is U. What would be U? User, yeah, user ID. So Milan is winning the game. What would be the T if you're playing a game? Score, yeah. So the score. So as I said, you're looking at that kind of source code decompiled from a mobile Android game. And how would you cheat, or how would you do? What kind of the tools would you need to be the first that your name you want to do that your name is going to be first one on the list? What kind of tools would you need? What? Proxy. Well, in that, would you need a proxy or just go through the URL, write URL in a web browser? It would work. So you should just say T as your score, so I don't know, 10 millions, and U as your username, and you're done. So you can see that from doing statistical analysis of a source code. Sometimes you see also kind of this, so there's a new server going through using SSL connection to some path, and here's username and here's the password. So you can get this, some kind of also usernames and passwords, just looking at the source code of Android applications. And if you're not feeling lucky enough, then you get this, not total decompilation of a Java source code, and some kind of security tokens and some kind of really interesting crypto stuff. Okay, if you're doing dynamical analysis, what we normally do? We just start up a proxy server, as already mentioned someone before. See what's actually the application is setting back and forth. You can do debugging, but you said that you took apart already application. Did you do also debugging? So step by step, a little bit. Was it fun? A pain in the ass, yeah. So debugging, it's and if you want to do some kind of let's say in real time, and when you are debugging step by step, going to the it's really pain in the ass. And third way, it's using reflection, and you're going to see it what we done with my colleague, and you see it's much more easier. So if you want to test it, you just start simulator with the proxy, install application in emulator, and use kind of, who's using burp, zap, other tools? Now the burp is really cheap and really good one. So if you want to, it's a way to go. Then you just run an application and see all kind of requests and replies are going back and forth. And maybe it's a good also if you check the logs, dumps, crashes, and other files that application is accessing. So this is normal kind of request that you see, and it's actually the request that's going. That's application that we have been decompiling it's using. So you see the request. Maybe it's interesting here that every request that's going to the server, it's sending some also your piece of information from your device. Can anybody tell what this is? What that would be? MAC address, yeah. So your device is sending MAC address to the server. You know why? Why is this? Because they're doing, they're identifying your device, just adding the MAC address. So, and also a lot of other interesting stuff. And what you're getting back, if you're going a man in the middle, you know, sometimes you get this back. Can anybody decode what this is? Just looking at it. Yeah. From a first view, I would also say base64, but if you try to decode base64, it's a little bit different. You know, it's encrypted and stuff. But you're going to see that's actually results of the game. If what we're going to play it, you know, it's actually hidden somewhere there. So you cannot decode it. So what else do we see when we are analyzing the mobile applications on an Android platform? We see different authentication pins in system logs. So you should check them if you're doing analysis. Some kind of session identifiers. Inappropriate data stored in local SQL database, like your usernames, passwords that that application is logging on. Internal IP addresses. There are a lot of banking applications that they're exposing internal IP addresses because developers forget to take them out before the going to the production. Sometimes you also see hard-coded usernames, passwords, and also test cases left inside the code, which also contains usernames and passwords for the testing environment. Okay, so we have seen now a little bit with statical analysis and dynamical analysis, but there's some other stuff that we're going to talk. Okay, reflection. What is reflection that we are using it with our tool? So it's actually ability to inspect dynamically the classes at the runtime. So it's actually like Java looking at the Java. So, you know, just to see your own classes and the methods and the attributes. Why is different? You know, if you're using debugging versus reflection, because with the reflection you get a really high level view. So you got all the object, you got all methods. You can access, so you can read, write, you can change, and you can actually get interaction with the application. And you can also do this if, for example, if to all methods and to all variables, even if they were declared private as private or protected. So you can do it all. So as I said, you have all access to all variables, can change it, call methods. You can write your even Java code and send it to the application, and it's going to be executed there. So the other things that we are using is Bean Shell. Has anybody used Bean Shell? It's kind of Java interpreter. It's really small. It's scripting language, and it's really fun to play with it. And sometimes, why did we choose it? Because sometimes we are also kind of lazy and we don't want it to do it all. So we use the Bean Shell. Okay, so we have a static analysis, dynamical analysis, we have reflection, but we really wanted some more. So we are digging deeper, started on our research, and this is what came out of this research. It's actually a tool which is public on our GitHub. You can use it, you can play it. I will get URL at the end. So we created a vaccine. So what does vaccine actually does? It actually takes APK package, injects some kind of services inside, and bean shell and other stuff that we are using, and you can connect it, and then you can interact with it at the runtime. So this is how the things are made of. So we have an Android device. You have your own APK, and here we are injecting vaccine service and bean shell library, which is used for some interaction and executing Java code. We are connecting over ADB using TCP, and we have really, let's say, complicated GUI that I'm going to show it a little bit later. So actually, what does this bash script? I know bash, regarding the shell shock now. Bash, it's not the right way to do it, but it's actually a bash script. What does it do? What does it do? So it copies APK, it unzips it. Back small is classes, and adds our code inside. Then small is back to classes dex. Change Android manifest. Why do we need to change it? Because we really want to change some kind of permissions. Replace it, removes all signature, sign it again, and install it, and starts the service and starts the GUI, and you will see that it's really easy to use it. So what do we get with vaccine? We actually get access to all objects. We can execute methods, or you can even program it in the runtime. You're going to see how it's done. So just before I'm going to show it, the demo, this is the GUI that's actually running this whole stuff. So here we have the whole application with the classes. It's actually loaded runtime. So you see that you have classes, you have the methods, you have all kinds of stuff. On the right side, we have info about classes and also watches. So if it's some kind of variable is important, you can do it. And here, you just write your Java code. And when you execute it, it's actually executed inside the application. Okay, who likes demos? Have you seen enough demos at the GrrCON? Huh? So. Okay. Let's try to see it. I was asked if I pray to the demo gods. I haven't, but let's try our luck. Okay. Showtime. Just check my. No, this is not working. Okay, switch. Okay. Here you can see a screen of my phone. So I'm not using emulator because I really like the real hardware. Although it's kind of old, it's broken, and it's kind of slow. But anyway, so here if I play it, you see that's interacting. So here we have a phone, and now let's start one. Let's start one application on a phone, and start a vaccine GUI. So you see the phone. Sometimes it stops working. Okay, it's gonna be. Okay. You see, vaccine is already now. Even the application is not running. It's showing the. Come on. Those demo cards. See that it already has some kind of applications inside. So if we're gonna go with the right click, you see that we are getting runtime all applications and variables directly from the application itself. And here you see that there are some of the variables are in a red color. This means that the variables did change from the last refresh. Come on. Okay. So let's try Oh, those demo bots. Sometimes it's really hard to do the right. Let's see if we can make it work. Okay, let's reboot the phone, and we will start, go on, and then show the all three of demos. Okay, the phone is rebooting, and meanwhile, we will explain a little bit more what our research did go further after changing APKs. So last year, somebody knows CCC Congress in Germany between the Christmas every year and the New Year. There has been one presentation done by Colin Mulliner, and he had a really good dynamic Dalvik instrumentation presentation about it, so he can actually hook the Android native calls. So we were a little bit, thinking, can we use this in our research? So we were a little bit researching a little bit more, and what we found out that we can do the same thing without changing APKs. So what are we doing? We took provided some kind of from his examples. So instead of changing APKs, we actually hijacked running processes. In our case, this is a Zygote process, which actually loads APKs from Android. We inject shared library into process, and we inject a vaccine and all the libraries that are needed inside this process. So what do we get with this? Actually, we get rid of changing APKs anymore. So we are hooking the native methods, and we are getting the same kind of effect. What's the difference? The difference is that you need a rooted phone. In the first method, you don't need it rooted phone, so it was working with APKs on non-rooted phone, and you could do it easily. So let's see if this is now working a little bit better to get the demo. Okay, so this one is reboot and connect. Oh, just a sec. I think. Because I really had a hard time getting up the towards to internet, because here we don't have stable Wi-Fi, and I hope not that no one will hack my Wi-Fi network at that moment. Okay, try and look. Okay. Okay, we have a phone. And try our luck again. So we are here. Start it again. You see that there was that server started quite short notification. So actually that was the server started actually our service inside the application. So if we're going now to the application, you see that all the dynamic classes that are loading, let's see, main view, and see all the methods that are coming down, and try to access the other classes that are inside. So we are now doing this using a reflection. So asking what kind of methods or access manager member of that class does it have? And if you don't believe it, that we are running inside the application, let me show it to you. So we're gonna just copy a little bit of the code You see that should say hello GrrCON 14. Okay, application stopped. Let's try it again. Sometimes does it, sometimes does not. So, okay, let's do it again. Okay, we have application. We have started. Let's get started. And if we now paste our code here inside and execute it, should say something that GrrCON should appear. And won't show. So let's try again. I should really pray to the YAML gods next time, a little bit harder. Let's try again. Close the application. Try it again. Let's see if it is okay. You see? Can everybody see that there was hello GrrCON? So actually we are running inside the application. So if we want to play now the game, before we have seen that this application, this game sending requests to the servers and it's getting back some kind of answers. So if we want to see what's actually inside, so what kind of words are in there, so you can just simply dump to the log and see if we are getting some kind of words. You see that we are getting these words that actually we should guess it if we are playing the game. See at the runtime. Why is this possible? Because we have seen before that the requests coming from the server are encrypted, so you cannot decrypt it. But let's do it again. See, there are different different words, or might be that we get, let's say, a little bit more interesting. Before when we were analyzing through the source code, we saw that actually there is a kind of method that's called dump answers. So let's try to run this method and see what it's gonna do. So if we're trying to execute this method, you see that something has changed on an application. So we now got all here. We got now all the answers over the application. So if we interact now, you see defendant, defend or defend. Okay, the game is over. But as you see, just calling one method, it actually dumps all the answers. But let's do something a little bit more crazy. Do you want to win the game every time? For this, there's a little bit more code, but not that much. It's like GrrCON is going to be winning the game every time. So we just paste it here. What's actually we are doing? We're just taking from one hash map, so all the answers, putting into the results, and let's see if we can win this game. So as you see, we have here. So we have set the application parameters, and actually that's the code that we wrote. It's actually sent to the application. It's compiled. It's interpreted. It's running in the runtime in a live mobile application. So when the time's up, we could play it now, but I don't want to mess it up too much, because otherwise we will get 300 scores out of possible 200 scores. But you see that it's really, really interactive with this. And if we take a look at the source code, you see that's really not that special. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of code. But why did we go through all the steps doing static analysis? Because we need to know which kind of variables are holding our answers. So if we take a look and wait for a couple of seconds, you're going to see that GrrCON should be winning. Let's wait for another. I think it's 5 seconds, and then we should be somewhere up there. Is this true? Yeah, so we are the first place. Actually, this is guest. Guest is the same as GrrCON because it's sending 2 times guest's ID because we change it here to GrrCON, but it still holds somewhere else variable. Okay. Let's try another thing. So as I mentioned before, we changed it a little bit also to the hooking of methods. So this is kind of other principle, but for that we need a rooted phone and a little bit knowledge how should we hooking the methods on Android. So it's kind of more low level stuff. But let's try kill that application and try to get onto the device. So let's go to ADB shell. So we are on the phone. Let's go to super user, and then we need to hijack the Zygote process. I already know that Zygote after each reboot has a ID of 140, and we are hijacking the COM Android to vending application, which is actually the Google Play. So if we try to do it like this, oops, sorry, we need to be in the right directory. So it's going to that directory where it's holding our hijacking. Here. And we hijack. And now if on my phone, if I open a Google Play Store, you see that actually it should be hijack the methods that are called when the Google Play is starting up. Okay, but in this case, it won't work. So let's try again. Let's see if this is everything here. Yes, but it's 140. Let's try it again. Or it might not work. It looks like the demo gods are not on my side today, so we're just gonna skip it, and you can contact me afterwards. So what are the actually pros and cons with changing the APKs and Android? So if you're playing with APKs, there's no need for rooted phone. You have to download, modify, and then upload all the APKs. If you're going for the rooting Android, there's no need for APK modification because we know that some kind of APKs are checking if we have to do some modification of them. You need a rooted phone and you need more skills because there are actually shared libraries, loading, and some other stuff going on. So actually, what are the challenges ahead? It's not only for Android, so the whole concept can be used also for almost all kind of Java application. It's true that reflection is still not that. We tried with different kind of methods, that all kind of tools that are already there, like Java Snoop. but they didn't work. And this year we also tested with the Oracle forms for one customer. So actually in a half a day, we adjusted it a little bit, the script, and actually injected inside the Oracle forms. So we were living inside the Oracle forms, and we were playing with all kind of methods and classes. And my son really enjoys to play Minecraft, you know, so Minecraft is Java. So might be that's the way to use it. So, and the other way is maybe creating your ultimate cheating platform. So to cheat the games in a really small amount of code. So it's just one script, small GUI tool. It's never going to be finished. As you have seen, we had like 0.92 version. It can help testers and researchers, also hackers and cheaters. And we are definitely open for some kind of suggestions, improvements, comments. And there are some tips for the developers. You know, if you're developing Android application, you need to know your platform. This means reading lots more than one book, or going to the, I don't know, one-day training, how to develop Android applications. And of course, you need to know how the things are made of. And definitely the last thing, experience mileage helps a lot. So if you have been developer, it really helps a lot with playing with all kind of Android applications. But before that, you're gonna see the one demo, and hopefully it's gonna work. Since we did also presentation in Vegas, you know, you cannot go to Vegas without presenting with some kind of gambling game. So we are using blackjack. So you're gonna see what can happen when we are playing blackjack, and you're gonna see also what kind of the tricks are developers or managers, but mostly developers using to when they are developing the games. So let's start our blackjack. Okay, let's start. See, we are playing the blackjack now. So we have it's play money. It's not the real money, but it could be the real money also. So you see, we have the classes already here, and let's play the game. So let's play live game. You see that the classes are dynamically loaded. So every time the new application loads a class, it's actually updated here. And let's sit summer. Who knows how to play blackjack? Okay, so you're gonna help me because I'm not the gambler. So let's wait for a round. So you see that we are playing the game. So would it help if you know what kind of next cards are coming with the blackjack? Would that help? Help a lot? Or yes? No? Yes? Okay, let's try to see. Okay, now we are not seeing anything yet because I didn't put the source code inside there. So we are playing as a normal game. But let's try to put some code inside. So you see this is the code that we are inserting into application and running. So you see that here we have 52 different resources that we are putting inside. What do you think these resources would be? Cards. We have 52 cards. So that is actually the images and also the name of the cards. And where's all the magic? All the magic is done here. So you see it's like 10 or maybe 15 lines of code. So if we are just executing this, okay, they threw me out because I haven't been active. So let's try again. Because I was speaking too much. Okay, let's try again. Play. Let's see how does this. Let's sit on the right side. Okay, buy into the game. Let's see what actually is coming into the logs. You see what's actually there? It's the it's not working. Should be out from the cards. Come on, run. Like should be the looking into the output of the next cards. We're gonna see it. Have you seen that the next card was 3 diamonds? It was 3 diamonds, right? If you want to hit it, so it's, but I don't know why. This should be outputting the stuff that's actually getting there. No, it's not at the moment. But I really don't want to spend more time. So afterwards, you can come to me, and I will try to put try to give you a real demo, because today it's not my day. So it looks like jet lag and everything. It's killing my let's say mojo. Okay. So that's it. We are at the end. Special thanks, before I forget, goes to my colleague, which actually did all the programming stuff and the development. So Daniel Grrch, who is actually not with us today. But on GitHub, our GitHub, you can find the vaccine, so you can use it. It's very simple to use. You just unzip it. It's actually doing everything for you. So you need to have an APK and just run it. So the best way is to run it. We're running on a Kali Linux because it has everything that you need already there. But you can run it on any kind of other distribution that's supported with ADB. So Android Debug Bridge and the Java. So any questions? I know it's late. I'm tired. You're tired. We all want to go home and have a final party. Any questions? I'm really sorry the demos didn't work as I expected, but at least you did see that we have been living inside the application. We have been executing. We have been cheating, and that's really small amount of the code. So if you wanna, you can take the tool, you play it, you cheat it. You know, it's really. But if there are no questions, thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of the con. So.